Welcome to our deep dive into market power and antitrust in economics. Today, we'll explore how certain firms can influence prices and what that means for competition and consumers. Market power is a central concept in economics, shaping the way markets function and how resources are allocated. Understanding it is crucial for grasping why antitrust laws exist and how they protect the market. Throughout this video, we'll break down these ideas, provide real-world examples, and explain why market power matters to everyone from business owners to everyday shoppers. Let's begin by defining what market power actually is and why it's so important. Market power refers to a firm's ability to influence the price of a product or service in the market. Unlike in perfectly competitive markets where no single firm can affect prices, firms with market power can set prices above competitive levels. This often leads to higher profits for the firm, but it can also result in less choice and higher prices for consumers. Market power is not just about size, it's about the ability to control market outcome. This control can stem from various factors such as unique products, brand loyalty, or barriers to entry that keep competitors out. There are several sources of market power in economics. One common source is product differentiation, where a company offers something unique that others can't easily replicate. Another is control over essential resources like a rare mineral or a key technology. Barriers to entry, such as high startup costs or strict regulations, can also give firms market power by keeping potential competitors at bay. Additionally, network effects, where a product becomes more valuable as more people use it, can reinforce a firm's dominance. These sources combine to allow certain firms to shape market conditions to their advantage. Let's look at some real-world examples of market power. Tech giants like Google and Apple hold significant market power due to their innovative products and strong brand loyalty. In the energy sector, companies that control oil reserves can influence global prices. Even local utilities like water or electricity providers often have market power because they're the only option in a given area. These examples show how market power can arise in different industries and why it's important for regulators to keep an eye on dominant firms. When firms have market power, consumers can face higher prices, fewer choices, and lower quality products. Without competition, there's less incentive for companies to innovate or improve customer service. This can lead to a less dynamic market overall. In some cases, firms may even engage in practices that deliberately limit competition, such as exclusive contracts or predatory pricing. These consequences highlight why market power is a concern not just for economists, but for anyone who buys goods or services. Antitrust laws are designed to prevent firms from abusing their market power. These laws promote competition by prohibiting practices like price fixing, monopolization, and collusion. The goal is to ensure that markets remain open and competitive, benefiting both consumers and businesses. Antitrust enforcement varies by country, but the underlying principle is the same: to stop companies from gaining too much control over a market. Let's explore how these laws work and why they're essential for a healthy economy. History of antitrust laws dates back to the late 19th century, with the United States leading the way. The Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890 was one of the first laws to address monopolistic practices. Over time, other countries adopted similar regulations, recognizing the need to curb excessive market power. These laws have evolved to address new challenges, such as digital markets and global corporations. Understanding this history helps us see why antitrust remains relevant today. Several landmark antitrust cases have shaped the way markets operate. For example, the breakup of Standard Oil in 1911 set a precedent for dealing with monopolies. More recently, cases against Microsoft and Google have focused on the tech industry's influence. These cases illustrate how regulators intervene when firms become too powerful and threaten competition. Each case provides valuable lessons about the balance between innovation and market dominance. Monopoly occurs when a single firm dominates a market, often controlling prices and output. Monopolies can arise naturally, such as when a company is the only provider of a unique product or through anti-competitive practices. While some monopolies result from innovation and efficiency, others can harm consumers by reducing competition. Antitrust laws aim to prevent harmful monopolies while allowing healthy competition to thrive. Oligopoly is another market structure where a few firms hold significant market power. Unlike monopolies, oligopolies involve competition among a small number of players, but these firms can still influence prices and output. Industries like airlines, telecommunications, and automobiles often exhibit oligopolistic characteristics. Collusion among firms in an oligopoly can lead to higher prices and less choice for consumers, making antitrust oversight crucial. Barriers to entry are obstacles that make it difficult for new firms to enter a market. These can include high startup costs, strict regulations, or access to key resources. When barriers are high, existing firms can maintain their market power and keep competitors out. This limits competition and can lead to higher prices and less innovation. Reducing barriers to entry is a key goal of antitrust policy. Price fixing and collusion occur when firms agree to set prices or limit production, rather than competing. These practices are illegal in most countries because they harm consumers by keeping prices artificially high. Antitrust authorities actively investigate and prosecute cases of collusion to maintain fair competition. Detecting and preventing collusion is a major focus of antitrust enforcement. Predatory pricing is a strategy where a firm sets prices below cost to drive competitors out of the market. Once rivals are eliminated, the firm can raise prices and recoup losses. This practice is difficult to prove but can be very damaging to competition. Antitrust laws prohibit predatory pricing to ensure that markets remain open and competitive for all players. Mergers and acquisitions can increase market power if they reduce competition. Regulators review proposed mergers to ensure they don't create monopolies or harm consumers. While some mergers can lead to efficiencies and innovation, others may limit choice and raise prices. Antitrust authorities must carefully balance these factors when evaluating mergers. Mergers can be classified as vertical or horizontal. Horizontal mergers occur between firms in the same industry, potentially reducing competition directly. Vertical mergers involve companies at different stages of the supply chain, which can also affect competition. Both types are scrutinized by antitrust authorities to prevent excessive market power and protect consumer interests. Market concentration measures how much of a market is controlled by a few firms. High concentration often signals less competition and greater market power. Regulators use concentration ratios and other tools to assess the competitive landscape. Monitoring market concentration helps authorities identify potential problems before they harm consumers. Consumer welfare standard is a key principle in antitrust policy. It focuses on the impact of business practices on consumer prices, choices, and quality. If a firm's actions harm consumers, regulators may intervene. This standard guides antitrust enforcement and helps ensure that markets serve the interests of the public. Market power can have mixed effects on innovation. On one hand, dominant firms may have the resources to invest in research and development. On the other, lack of competition can reduce the incentive to innovate. Antitrust policy aims to strike a balance, encouraging innovation while preventing abuses of market power. Digital markets present new challenges for antitrust enforcement. Tech platforms can quickly gain market power due to network effects and data advantages. Regulators are adapting their tools to address issues like platform dominance, data privacy, and algorithmic collusion. The digital economy requires updated approaches to ensure fair competition. Network effects occur when a product or service becomes more valuable as more people use it. This can create a feedback loop, making it hard for new entrants to compete. Social media platforms and online marketplaces often benefit from network effects, reinforcing their market power. Understanding network effects is crucial for analyzing competition in digital markets. Digital markets often have unique barriers to entry, such as the need for large user bases or access to vast amounts of data. These barriers can entrench the position of dominant firms and limit competition. Regulators are exploring ways to lower these barriers and promote a more level playing field in the digital economy. In today's economy, data is a valuable asset that can confer significant market power. Firms that collect and analyze large amounts of data can better understand consumer behavior and outcompete rivals. This raises concerns about privacy, competition, and the concentration of power in the hands of a few tech giants. Antitrust policy must balance the need to prevent market abuses with the desire to encourage innovation. Overly aggressive enforcement can stifle creativity, while lax regulation can allow harmful monopolies to form. Policymakers strive to create an environment where innovation thrives alongside healthy competition. Globalization has expanded the reach of firms, allowing them to operate in multiple countries and markets. This can increase market power and complicate antitrust enforcement, as different countries have different laws and priorities. International cooperation is increasingly important to address cross-border competition issues. Regulators play a crucial role in monitoring markets and enforcing antitrust laws. Agencies like the Federal Trade Commission and the European Commission investigate potential abuses of market power and take action when necessary. Their work helps ensure that markets remain competitive and fair for all participants. Investigating market power involves analyzing market shares, pricing behavior, and competitive dynamics. Regulators use economic models and data to assess whether a firm is abusing its position. This process requires expertise and careful judgment to distinguish between healthy competition and harmful dominance. When regulators find that a firm has abused its market power, they can impose remedies. These may include breaking up companies, imposing fines, or requiring changes to business practices. The goal is to restore competition and protect consumers from harm. Remedies must be carefully designed to address the specific issues in each case. Enforcing antitrust laws is not always straightforward. Firms may use sophisticated strategies to hide anti-competitive behavior, and markets are constantly evolving. Regulators must stay up to date with new business models and technologies to effectively protect competition. This ongoing challenge requires vigilance and adaptability. Courts play a vital role in interpreting and enforcing antitrust laws. When disputes arise, judges must weigh evidence and decide whether a firm's actions violate competition rules. Court decisions set important precedents that shape future enforcement and business behavior. Consumer advocacy groups play an important role in highlighting issues related to market power. These organizations raise awareness, lobby for stronger regulations, and provide input to policymakers. Their efforts help ensure that consumer interests are represented in antitrust debates. As markets become more global, international cooperation on antitrust issues is increasingly important. Agencies from different countries share information, coordinate investigations, and harmonize regulations. This collaboration helps address challenges posed by multinational corporations and cross-border competition. Recent years have seen renewed interest in antitrust enforcement, especially in the tech sector. Policymakers are debating how to address new forms of market power such as data dominance and platform control. These trends are shaping the future of competition policy and enforcement. Public perception plays a role in shaping antitrust policy. When consumers feel that certain firms are too powerful, there is often pressure on regulators to take action. Media coverage and public debate influence how authorities prioritize enforcement and reform. Developing economies face unique challenges in enforcing antitrust laws. Limited resources, lack of expertise, and political pressures can hinder effective enforcement. However, promoting competition is essential for economic growth and consumer welfare in these markets. Technology is transforming markets and creating new forms of market power. Digital platforms, artificial intelligence, and big data are changing how firms compete and how regulators enforce antitrust laws. Staying ahead of technological change is a major challenge for policymakers. The future of antitrust policy will be shaped by ongoing debates about the role of government, the impact of technology, and the need for global cooperation. Policymakers must adapt to new challenges while maintaining the core goal of promoting competition and protecting consumers. Antitrust policy must balance the need for regulation with the benefits of free markets. Too much regulation can stifle innovation, while too little can allow harmful monopolies to form. Finding the right balance is an ongoing challenge for governments and regulators. Let's examine a case study involving tech giants like Facebook and Amazon. These companies have grown rapidly, leveraging network effects and vast data resources. Regulators are scrutinizing their business practices to determine if they are harming competition or consumers. This case highlights the complexities of applying antitrust laws in the digital age. At the heart of antitrust policy is the goal of preserving consumer choice and competition. When markets are competitive, consumers benefit from lower prices, better quality, and more innovation. Ensuring that no single firm dominates is essential for a healthy economy. Market power doesn't just affect prices and competition, it also has broader implications for social welfare. Concentrated economic power can influence politics, media, and society as a whole. Antitrust policy plays a role in promoting fairness and preventing the abuse of power. Small businesses often struggle to compete with firms that have significant market power. Antitrust policy aims to level the playing field, giving smaller players a fair chance to succeed. Supporting small businesses is vital for innovation, job creation, and economic diversity. In addition to antitrust laws, consumer protection measures help guard against unfair business practices. These include regulations on advertising, product safety, and privacy. Together, these policies ensure that consumers are treated fairly and have confidence in the market. Antitrust policy is grounded in economic theories about competition, efficiency, and welfare. Economists analyze market structures, firm behavior, and consumer outcomes to guide policy decisions. These theories help regulators design effective rules and interventions. Sum up, market power and antitrust are central to understanding how modern economies function. Market power can benefit firms but often comes at a cost to consumers and competition. Antitrust laws and policies are essential tools for maintaining a fair, dynamic, and innovative marketplace. By staying informed and engaged, we can all contribute to a healthier economic future. As we look to the future, the challenges of market power and antitrust will only grow more complex. New technologies, global markets, and evolving business models will test the limits of current policies. Ongoing vigilance, innovation, and cooperation will be essential to ensure that markets remain competitive and fair for everyone.